just can't seem to grow up. I said I just can't seem to grow up. But you know what? What? I don't think I want to. All right, now follow me here. Yeah.
Welcome to Retro Fun Time. I'm your host, Roberto Vegas, and today we're going to try something a little different. We're actually going to streamline the episode, do things a little bit differently in terms of how we're going to approach these episodes. Don't worry, we're still going to have those extra video parts later on. I'm going to rework them into more of a supplemental video, but for now, we're just going to concentrate on the game proper. So long as Creepy Santa he's not behind me, is he? Sorry, guys. I've been a little paranoid ever since the whole power outage thing. It's been really keeping me up at night, staring at that plastic horror in my bed. Never mind. Let's just go to the gameplay. Released in November of 1992, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is the hit sequel to the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Introducing the character of Tails, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 brings two-player action for the first time in the series. Selling over 6 million copies, Sonic 2 was a huge success and was released on various systems and platforms. Okay, let us play some Sonic the Hedgehog 2! Oh man, this is one of those games that like I said, I'm not a Sega guy, but I was always jealous of this game. I don't know, Sonic's just still cool. Now 2, of course, as you can see, introduces the ever-popular, sometimes not popular, depending on who asks. I tend to like him as a character. Tails, as signified by the fact he's got 2 tails. I've always forgot what his other name. I think it's like Miles is his other name. I always forget the sub-names for all these characters sometimes. But I like Tails. I actually enjoy him as a character. Originally, Tails was going to be a female, from what I understand. And that would have been interesting, I think. So much so that they actually have, if you really want to have some boredom fun, look up, I think it's Tails Co. is what they tend to refer to the female Tails as. So if you ever want to look up some interesting fan art, just look up Tails Co. and you can kind of see that idea. But Sonic the Hedgehog 2 really isn't too much different. First and foremost, we have the ability to actually spin blast right off the bat without even trying, which is good. Makes for things a lot easier and simpler than having to just always roll into things. You can kind of just spin dash into everything. Definitely having Tails as a partner kind of is interesting. It's really not terribly useful. You can't, like for example, play as Tails. Well, you can't. You have to always play Sonic, the single-player game. When you play two-player, your friend played as Tails. Although, honestly, right now, if we had a second player, he could actually hit start and play as Tails. It's a weird mode in the game, which I never quite understood because it never worked out. It just was like you were there, and Sonic would still lead the action. It always felt like Tails got kind of a secondhand treatment. And I always kind of disliked that. I always felt that Tails should have gotten a little bit more action and such. It always sat weirdly in my stomach, if that makes any sense. It's definitely one of those things, like, I wish they had done a lot more with Tails. I am freaking terrible at this game. But in terms of everything else, I will say a couple things. They did linearize things a little bit more. There's still a little bit of pathing and such like that, but it always, I always liked 1. I mean, as much as I like 2. 2 is a fun game. I think it definitely adds some flavor in later levels for sure. But the Emerald Zone always is like, hey, it's Green Hills again, except different name. And I always felt like, really, is that what we're gonna do? It just never seemed. But as you can see, it does a lot more animation. For example, you can see Sonic flips around, so they definitely up the artistic style for sure. And again, the spin dash helps tremendously through things in terms of getting around areas that you normally wouldn't have to. And they made it very much they actually made it a bit more platformy friendly. But like I said, for me, it always felt like a little second to 1 in terms of style, just because like 1 set the tone pretty much for the rest of the Sonic games until they introduced Knuckles, which that would change sort of the gameplay for sure. But not so much. I mean, this is basically we have Tails, yay! And I mean, Tails is cool, but I wish I could play as him more. I wish I could the single player campaign be Tails as opposed to just hey, we have Sonic now with a little bit more, visual fidelity. I mean, obviously this is no longer the. Hey, look, we're already at a boss. That's kind of amazing. I think that was also kind of a change, is the fact that you get to the boss pretty damn quickly. Which, again, it's different. Good old blast processing. But in terms of I'm trying to think what else Sonic. I mean, like I said, there's certain levels of Sonic 2 that I think look way prettier. We're about to come to my favorite level after we beat this here, and that is one of my favorite ones, the Chemical Zone. Probably has one of the coolest songs. I will say Sonic 2 music way better than Sonic 1. Sonic 2 has Sonic 1 of course is a great soundtrack, but Sonic 2 is like 80 times better. You definitely zip through it quicker. And you can get Tails doing silly things you want. You can bounce. Here it is, Chemical Plant Zone. Now listen to that song. So I will say that Sonic 1 pretty much had a lot of just the same old sort of things, Sonic 2 definitely played around with visuals a lot. As you can see in the background, we have we have way different things than just simply the 3 zones. We have now kind of crazier background with a little bit more color. We definitely have a lot more interesting worlds. I mean, we already have this. You can see those pipes there, and I can't wait till I go in them because you'll see what they do. Yeah, you actually, as a player, go through them, and so you have a lot more interesting kind of pathways to deal with. A lot more obstacles too to kind of fool around with. So you have a lot more things around you as a player, and definitely a lot more obstacles too to have to deal with. Again, which makes for a very interesting game. I will say I like Sonic more, but I love certain things of. I think that's what it is. I like certain things of Sonic 2, like that. I just zipped through that, and I'm not the biggest fan here, but this I always loved. I always loved this. You kind of go into the pipes, kind of and get there. It was always the coolest effect. When I saw that as a kid, I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome. And again, having to just go around this world in the way you choose to is always fun. And I always wondered that. And here we go. We've already beat it. Jesus. That's the one thing I hate about Sonic 2. The levels feel way shorter. But that doesn't make them any less fun. But yeah, no, and here comes the fun part. Another fun part. One other thing I liked about the way they did zones is that they tended to take the same existing mechanics that. There I am, die. They took the exact same, similar mechanics that 1 introduced in terms of stuff, and they kind of turned it on its side a bit. For example, we have now kind of if you notice there at the bottom there, we have this purple liquid we have there, which essentially is what's going to be this level's water hazard. Much like in terms of other ones, you have to sort of breathe and survive and everything else. But it's a different kind of thing. So they kind of have fun with it. They play with the level ideas. They hide certain things, force the player to sort of make a decision one way or the other, and lock out certain stuff and hide a lot of things in terms of levels. So it definitely makes for a very, very interesting way of having to look around to find all the things you want to get, especially if you're a guy like me, where you have to get like all the things, all the collectibles, all the bullshit stuff, because that seems fun. But it definitely, like I said, it adds a lot of that to it in terms of pathing. I do like the way that it visually looks. I guess one was that one for me. Two, I had friends that had two, and two was fun, but one was always the game that like I'm never gonna play this because I never owned a Sega Genesis. I was always a Nintendo kid. But I love that effect. I love that little effect. I don't know, that effect never gets old. Like that is so. I mean, this is fucking cool. Let's just say it's freaking cool. And it is well fun. I don't know. Even with this one, I'm gonna say, like I've been playing a lot of Sonic S games recently, specifically the iPad game, sort of the Dash sort of thing. And it occurs to me that somewhere along the line, I think Sonic lost a little bit of his style when he had to go next gen. I don't know what it was. I have no idea why that's the case. It's just my opinion. But oh, there it is. There's the purple goo. No, we don't want purple goo. Purple goo bad. I don't want it to deal with the water anymore. But that's the idea. There's a water hazard here, and you have to like play with it and, you know, get around. It's like that. No. And then if you notice, you have to go back through the whole level again, and you're breathing. You have the same air stuff. We're about to have the same issue soon, because I don't think there are any air bubbles over here. And you hear that timer. You see the 5, 4, and we're about to die. Because I am. Oh, I made it barely. Barely made it. That probably should not have happened. God damn it! This is where we'll die. This is where it all will end. Because as much as I love this game, I'm terrible at this game. I'm terrible at Sonic. But it's still a fun game. Here we go. Time to platform. No, platform. Remember, beat it fast. Bye-bye, Tails. The great part of Tails, he never dies. When Tails happens to him, he just flies. See, look at it. He even passed me already. He's like, you're too slow, son. That's cruel and unusual. Because you can't use that. No way you would have been able to hit that one. Boss time. And I'll try to beat Robotnik. Robotnik would be the way I'd know. Dr. Robotnik, Eggman, however you see fit. Son of a bitch. Look, Tails just escaped. Tails like, I'm floating out of here. What if you be, Sonic? I don't need to die because of you. Again, I really wish we could have played this Tails. I know no one likes Tails, but I like Tails. I think Tails is awesome. Tails is cool. I mean, look at him. He's got 2 tails. And he's a goddamn fox. What does a fox say? Go fuck yourself. Oh. I don't know why I'm cursing. I normally don't curse in this episode, on this podcast. But you know what? Well, I'll bleep. I'll ask. We'll bleep. But yeah, no, Tails gets his the juju juice beat out of him. But I love him. I think Tails is a way more unique character sometimes than Sonic is. And only because he's got a little bit more style. Damn. I always forget about that. Ugh. All right, we got 1 more minute left. Nope. And there's where it ends. That is game over. And that is it for our gameplay session. So thank you for watching this part. Stay tuned. And of course, wait here and listen to my final summation on Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
In terms of sequels, Sonic 2 isn't bad. It's still a solid game, still visually fun, and still fast as all hell. It just doesn't really add anything to the gameplay. It almost feels like a retread of the first. Sure, the graphics are great and there were some improvements, but it just didn't feel like they could capture the feeling of the first. Still, it's a gorgeous game filled with large levels and great visuals for the time. It may not be anything new, but then again, Sonic may not need anything new. So how do you follow up a game like this? More of the same? Not quite. Next time, we conclude our look at the Sonic series with the third installment.
Thanks for watching this week's show. Of course, you can catch all of our previous episodes and join in the discussion at our website, CosmicRadio.TV/RetroFunTime. There you'll find links to the show notes, previous episodes, and of course, all the social links. We have a Twitter account, we have a Facebook page, we have a Google Plus page. And guess what, guys? We're on iTunes. I know a lot of you guys are watching on there. So if you happen to be catching us on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating or whatever rating you see fit. It actually helps us a lot in terms of rankings, in terms of getting more viewers and getting people to see it. So if you guys are watching on iTunes, just review the crap out of it. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm hoping to hear from each and every one of you. So that's it for today. So tune in next time. But remember, we gotta make sure the thing's not behind. It ain't ours unless we prove it to be. I gotta get a call made. Hey, Justin, it's Robert. Yeah, how's it going? Hey, listen. Got a couple of questions to ask you about the plastic Santa Claus you sent me a while back. Yeah, creepy Santa. Where did you get this thing? I'm just trying to make sure, because if I'm going to get a replacement or something like that. Indian barrel. In a pit at a possessed by a demon, all the evils and destruction inside the plastic. No, of course I don't believe any of that. What do you think? I'm stupid? I of course it's just legend. I know you're kidding. Of course you didn't find it. No. Why would I believe that a plastic Santa Claus is haunted and invested in it is all the hate and evil of the world? I mean, that's just something out of a video game. I'll talk to you later, Justin. Bye-bye.